Every investor has felt it. You buy when everything feels safe, prices are rising, and everyone around you seems to be making money. Then slowly, almost without warning, everything turns. Prices fall, confidence evaporates. The same people who were talking about their returns 6 months ago go completely quiet. What most people never realize is that this wasn't bad luck. It wasn't unpredictable. It was a cycle. The same cycle that has repeated itself in financial markets for over 200 years. And the investors who understand it don't just survive it, they use it. The market cycle exists because of one thing: human psychology. Not fundamentals, not economic data. Psychology. Markets are driven by the collective emotions of millions of participants. Fear, greed, hope, and panic. These emotions follow a remarkably consistent pattern because human nature does not change. Warren Buffett captured it perfectly. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. That sounds simple. Executing it when your portfolio is down 40% and every headline is predicting catastrophe is one of the hardest things a human being can do. Understanding the cycle is what makes it possible. The 4 phases. Phase 1. Accumulation. This is the phase that follows a crash. Prices are low. Sentiment is terrible. Most investors are still scarred from the losses they just experienced and want nothing to do with the market. The financial media is full of articles explaining why this time is different, why the old highs will never be reached again. This is precisely when the smartest money in the world is quietly buying. Institutional investors accumulate positions in high-quality assets at dramatically discounted prices. Volume is low. Nothing feels exciting. Most retail investors are either sitting in cash or still processing their losses. The indicators to watch here are valuations at historical lows, dividend yields elevated, and insider buying unusually high. Phase 2. Markup. The recovery becomes visible. Early investors start seeing real gains. Economic data improves. Corporate earnings beat expectations. Retail investors begin returning. Slowly at first, then with increasing confidence. This is the longest phase of the cycle, and the one that generates the most wealth for investors who entered early. The danger here is not losing money. It is the gradually increasing temptation to take on more risk than your strategy requires. As prices rise and returns accumulate, discipline starts feeling unnecessary. This is exactly when you need it most. Phase 3. Distribution. The most dangerous phase and the hardest to identify in real time. Prices are near their peak. Sentiment is euphoric. Everyone is talking about their returns. New investors are entering the market in large numbers, drawn in by stories of easy gains. Meanwhile, the same institutional investors who bought during accumulation are quietly selling to the retail investors, rushing in at exactly the wrong time. Volume spikes, but price movement slows. Valuations are at historical extremes. Margin debt is elevated. IPO markets are flooded. When everyone's borrowing money to buy stocks because they are certain prices will keep rising, distribution is almost certainly underway. Phase 4. Markdown. The crash, triggered by a catalyst, an economic shock, a geopolitical event, the weight of overvaluation finally collapsing. Prices fall sharply. Leveraged investors are forced to sell, which accelerates the decline. Fear dominates every conversation. This is the phase that feels like the end, but is actually the setup for everything that follows. The investors who prepared during distribution, who reduced risk and built cash, are now in a position to do what very few people can bring themselves to do. Buy. Where are we now as of May 2026? Let's look at the actual data. The Shiller CAPE ratio, one of the most reliable long-term valuation tools available, currently sits at around 40. The historical average is 17. The only time it was higher in modern history was during the peak of the dot-com bubble in 2000. In 2026, the ratio reached its second highest level in history, surpassed only by the peak of the dot-com bubble, largely driven by the AI supercycle where investors are paying massive premiums for tech giants. Sentiment has been on a wild ride. As recently as March 2026, the Fear and Greed Index dropped to 15, extreme fear territory, as markets sold off sharply. 1 month later, sentiment shifted dramatically. The index moved from extreme fear back to greed, largely due to volatility caused by geopolitical events. As of this week, the Fear and Greed Index sits at 67, firmly in greed territory. What does this tell us? The market swung from extreme fear to greed in under 2 months, a textbook distribution phase characteristic. Valuations remain at historically elevated levels. Sentiment has recovered sharply from a dip that looked like the beginning of a markdown, but reversed quickly. The honest read: we are most likely in a late distribution phase. Valuations are stretched significantly above historical averages. Sentiment has recovered from a fear spike faster than fundamentals justify. That does not mean a crash is imminent. Markets can stay overvalued for years. But it does mean the risk-reward of being fully invested at these levels is less favorable than it was 12 or 24 months ago. The data says, reduce risk gradually, build some cash, and be ready to deploy it aggressively when the next real fear spike arrives. What to do at each phase. In accumulation, buy aggressively and hold. The investments that feel most uncomfortable during this phase are almost always the ones that generate the greatest long-term returns. In markup, stay invested and stay disciplined. Let your winners run, but keep rebalancing. Resist the urge to concentrate into whatever has already risen the most. In distribution, reduce risk gradually and build cash. You do not need to call the exact top. You need to recognize that the risk-reward of being fully invested at peak valuations is unfavorable. In markdown, keep buying, systematically, mechanically, without trying to call the bottom. The investors who kept buying through 2008 and 2020 did not catch the exact low, but they owned significant positions before the recovery began. The market cycle is not a secret. It has been documented and studied for over a century. And yet the vast majority of retail investors still buy near the top and sell near the bottom every single cycle, because understanding something intellectually and executing it emotionally are entirely different challenges. The investors who build real wealth are not the ones who predict the cycle perfectly. They are the ones who understand it well enough to act against their instincts at the moments that matter most. The next cycle has already started. The question is which phase you think we are in, and whether your portfolio reflects that view. And if you want to know exactly how to make money when the market is in the markdown phase, when everyone else is panicking, I covered exactly that in my last video. Link is in the top of the description. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe if you want to learn more about finance.